Hello everybody, it's me, Ronan Romero with Clear Cut Concepts, back at you again today with another vlog. Today is my November 2nd vlog. I apologize it's a little bit late. I've been super busy trying to get everything together. I wanted to start out with my latest projects and services, which is actually what's keeping me from getting these out in time. I've been editing a lot of videos, shooting a lot of videos, getting a lot of stuff ready for my YouTube channel to make sure I have videos for upcoming weeks in case I don't have time to make them during that week. I plan on having posts out every Thursday with my vlog, as well as every Wednesday/Thursday for my poem readings and my short story readings from my book. I got a couple more poems coming up for you guys this coming Thursday, as well as my latest vlog from November the 9th. It will be out on time this week, I promise you. Besides that, I'm still working on updating my website, getting everything ready on YouTube, just kind of researching, figuring out how everything works as I go along. So this week's tips for successful word production, they will be focusing on getting through the burnout of writing your first draft. I know that no matter what you write, whether it be a report, a short story or fiction, poetry, anything like that, the number one thing that you need to do is just get that first draft completed. It's kind of like the fleshy skeleton to the whole body that you're going to create. So once you get all of your ideas down, that's the most important thing. And really it's kind of hard to get through, especially with those really long first drafts. So here is my top 5 ways to combat the burnout of writing your first draft. So number 5, pace yourself and take breaks. So you don't want to just wake up in the morning, start writing, and write until you get tired and fall asleep at night. You don't want to do that. You'll lose focus, you'll just lose track of everything, and your work will come out really bad, and you'll have to put a lot more in during the editing process after the first draft is completed. So I suggest you pace yourself by taking breaks. Either it's taking a day or two here or there, or it's just working for 30 to 60 minutes at a time and taking 5-minute breaks every hour or two, just to reset your mind, get yourself refocused, and just make sure that you're focused on the task that you need to be conducting on the page. And that really helps you from getting burnt and just tired and just sort of writing like a zombie, because then you're sort of just rewriting your plan. So that brings me to number 4. Keep your goals in mind. So while you're writing, during the whole process, never forget why you're writing. It can either be to get your name out there, try to convince somebody or persuade somebody of something. It can be to exercise your creativity. It can be to make money or complete a book series, anything. There can be really a lot of reasons to do what you're doing. It can be to spread knowledge, to make people laugh, to make people cry. Anything is a good reason to do what you're doing. Just never forget why you're doing it, because that will keep you motivated and keep you on track, and really just make sure that you're doing this for the right reasons. And during that kind of process of keeping that in mind, you may even discover that you're doing this for more than just one reason, and that you may not even be doing it for any reason aside from fun. But if you're doing it for fun, then you've already won. So number 3. My number 3 tip on how to combat the burnout of writing your first draft is plan and organize. So before you start to flesh out the skeleton with your first draft, make sure you have maybe a checklist or steps, or at least a flow of how you want everything to go and what you want each section to include. That way when you're writing your first draft, you can just go from part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. I missed a little bit here, go back and write it in there, and keep going. It'll really just help you kind of get in the groove and really just go from point A to point B a lot quicker, and it'll help save you a lot of time and help you from getting burnt out and spending so much time, especially on those boring parts. You don't want to constantly be, oh, well, I gotta go back to this part. I have to go forward a few steps and make sure I have that in there so I don't forget it later. Now I have to go back and make sure this is over here. You don't want to do all that. Make sure it's all planned out ahead of time so you can just hit the ground running. Now, my number 2 is exercise and eat lightly whenever you start to write. So what I like to do is I'll do a little bit of yoga, maybe 15 to 30 minutes of yoga. I'll eat a light meal, maybe some vegetables or something just very light that won't weigh you down. You definitely want to avoid greasy foods or anything that will make you tired. Definitely something light will keep you energized, and the light exercise that you do beforehand will make sure that you're not sore from too much exercise or beat from too much exercise, but it will make sure that that blood flow is happening in your brain, and it'll keep you awake, it'll keep you attentive, and it'll help you to get a better first draft down, and it'll help you stay awake and less burnt out while you're writing that first draft. Now, my number one tip for combating the burnout of writing your first draft is just get it on the page. If you are extremely burnt out or you're tired and just sick of writing, just get it on the page and maybe a really, really rough outline at least. That way you can maybe just get to the next step. If you're absolutely at your wit's end, give it a long break, but make sure you come back and you get it on the page. Just put aside time to write, maybe an hour here, an hour there, maybe 2 hours a week. Make sure that you are making progress on it, no matter how terrible, how slow that progress is. Because once you get everything on the page and you're able to go all the way to the end and write the end, or sincerely whoever, once you get all the way from beginning to end and everything is conducted completely, then you're all set to start your editing process and just move on to the next step. But you cannot move on to the next step without making that progress. So my number one tip, of course, will be just get it on the page. Any experienced writer will tell you that that's great advice, just because, without just getting it on the page, you're not getting anywhere. So getting it on the page, I feel, is the best advice, because without getting it on the page, there's no next step, there's no final draft, there's no publishing process, there's no ideas. So get those ideas out, get everything developed, and just get it down. From there, you can go anywhere, you can change it how you like, you can edit it how you like, but once it's there, you're golden. So, again, those are my top 5 steps of combating the burnout of writing your first draft. Now I want to go over quickly what I'm currently reading. Right now I am reading Stephen King's The Stand. It is a hefty read, as you can tell. This is all 3 books in one. It is very lengthy, and I'm not lying when I say it is long. It's over 1,400 pages there. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it's lengthy. I am currently on page 985, towards the end of book 2, and things are heating up a little bit, or so I thought that they were. I'm going to be honest, it's a little slow at this time. I believe that Stephen King is focusing a little bit more on character development and sort of getting those background character details in place. Right now we have not heard anything in a while about the Las Vegas colony led by Randall Flagg and the bad guys. Now, the permanent committee over the Boulder, Colorado community, which that community is reaching thousands at this point, they've decided to send 3 different individuals over towards Las Vegas to sort of scout out the area, see what they can find, and come back with information. Those 3 people do not know of each other and will be sent out individually to kind of see what happens and what they can come back with separately. We're going to see how that develops. Also, Fran's crazy wannabe lover, Harold, he's been getting more and more closer to the dark side. He lives in the Boulder, Colorado community, but he's getting more and more dark as time goes on. And Larry's former lover, Nadine, is now shacking up with him. 2 crazies in one house kind of seems like it's got a lot to give us in the future. So I'll let you guys know how that comes about next time I review what I'm currently reading. Again, that is Stephen King's The Stand. Thank you guys so much for watching. This week's literary quote of the week comes from Rosabeth Moss Kanter. She is a business professor at Harvard Business School. She was an economic advisor to Michael Dukakis during his 1988 U.S. presidency campaign. She has a lot of great quotes. She's a very inspirational figure, but this is my favorite quote. If there are any people you'd like to hear quoted, in the weeks to come. Leave me some suggestions in the comment section below. Otherwise, I do want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you heard here today, go ahead and give a little love tap to that like button down there. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss any of the new things I have coming up for you in the future. If you have any questions or concerns, don't be afraid to contact me on my website, clearcutcopyandediting.com. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.